Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the measures of central tendency. They're known as mean, median, mode, and range. First of all, how are you doing today? You can use the Corgi scale to help you describe your feelings. Cool. Let's look at an example with mean. Let's say you play Rocket League, which is a game with cars and a soccer ball, every night from Monday to Friday. You record the number of goals in a frequency table. Remember, frequency is just how often something happens. What is your average number of goals? Let's see if you could calculate this without me. So here's how you would do that. You would just take the number of goals, 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3, and you would add them up. Well, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 6 is 9, and plus another 3. So that would be 15 in total, but that's not your average. You want to divide by the number of things that you added up. So there were 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we divide by 5, and our average would be 3 goals per day. Here's a visual representation of how to find the mean. You just take the sum of everything in a list and divide it by the number of things you are adding up. It's also known as your average. The median. The median is the middle number in a list of ordered numbers. Ordered means they're in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So for example, we have a list of numbers here, but they're all mixed up. 4 is not the smallest. So once we put them in order, can cross out numbers from each side and find the middle. Medium kind of looks like the word medium to me, which would be like the middle of small, medium, large. You could think of it that way. The mode, the number with the highest frequency. It's just the number that appears the most often. So in this example, the number 2 appears 5 times. So the mode would be 2. No other number appears that many number of times. You can have more than one mode. If you look at our example here, the number 5 appears the most often 3 times. More than 4, which only appears twice. So your mode would be 5. The range. The range is just the max minus the min, or the highest minus the lowest. It's probably easier to put the numbers in order first, but our lowest was 11. Our highest was 18. So you do 18 minus 11, and that gives you your range. Complete the sentence stems below. When finding the median, so what would you do? Here's an example of how you could have completed the sentence. When finding the median, put the numbers in order and find the middle. Let's look at this one. In order to find the mean, here's how you could have completed this. Add the number, should be an N. Add the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. This is what's called a dot plot. It's literally a plot with dots on it. So here's a random example. Let's say the dot plot shows the number of times students have seen Godzilla vs. Kong. So the numbers down here would be the number of movie viewings, like the number of times that students watched the movie. And then the dots would be the frequency, like how many students fit into that category. So look at our question. What does this data set look like listed numerically? Take a guess. So if we were going to actually list this out as numbers, so we would want the number 0 twice. And then we would want the number 1 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. the number 2 twice, and then the number 3 just once. And then we could do whatever we needed to do with that data set, and it's already in order. The dot plot below shows the age of corgis in the Bronx. So we want to calculate the mode, median, range, and mean. Let's look at the first one, the mode. Just to remind you, the mode, the number that appears the most. So in this list of numbers, 7 appears the most, so that would be the mode. So which number appears the most? The number 2 appears 3 times. That's more than any other number. The median. The median is the number in the middle, but we have to have the numbers in order. So these numbers are already technically in order, but let's list out this data set. It would be 0, there's 2 1s, 3 2s, 1 3, there's no 4 or 5, but there is a 6. Which number is right in the middle? Here's what you could do. You can cross out from each side. Oh, it looks like I don't have anything in the middle here, but before I crossed out those, I had the number 2. So since they're the same number, my median is just 2. But if they were 2 different numbers, I would just take the average of those 2 numbers. So if it was like 4 and 6, the average would be 5. Let's look at the range. The range is the difference between the largest and the smallest. So the biggest minus the smallest. What would be the range? So our range would just be 6 minus 0, which is 6. The last one, the mean. We add all of the numbers up and then divide by the number of numbers. So what would the mean be for this set of numbers? Well, in order to do that, you're just going to add them up. So we would add 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6, and we would get 17 divided by, how many numbers were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 17 divided by 8, you get 2.125, and I didn't really talk about rounding, so that's good enough. A histogram. Kind of sounds like Instagram, but it's a histogram. It's basically a bar graph without any spaces, and it tells you the frequency of something happening. So for an example, this chart shows how many TikTok videos are posted each week by a group of users of the app. So let's answer some questions. How many people post 65 to 80 videos per week? In order to figure this out, we would just have to find this section in the histogram, and I'll zoom in there. We go to the top, and that's at 8. 8 people. Oop. Oop. Yeah. Okay. How many people post 80 to 100 videos per week? This one's a little trickier. What do you think? So 80 to 100 is a bigger group. It's all the way from here to here. So you'd want to do this maybe in sections, like that first one is 3, that one is 1, and you add those up, 3 plus 1, you would get 4. All right, the table below shows the number of points scored by each game by the Innovation Warriors. So let's calculate some of these measures of central tendency, starting with the mean, and then we'll do the median, mode, and range. So what would be the mean, keeping in mind that that is your mean? Well, in order to calculate the mean, we would just add 56 plus 89 plus 90 plus 34 plus 56 plus 56 plus 77 plus 67 plus 54 plus 76. My sum would be 655 divided by, there's 10 numbers in total. You can count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get to 10. So 655 divided by 10 would be 65.5. What would be the median? Don't forget to put the numbers in order if they're not already. So for our median, we want to put these in order. I'm going to do that up here. So 34 is the smallest, and then our next smallest would be, I believe, 54, and then 56, 56, 56, and then 67, and then 76, 77, 89, and 90. And then our median, just cross out from both sides until you get to the middle. So right now we're in the middle of 56 and 67. We're just going to take the average of those. 56 plus 67 and divide by the number of numbers. 56 divided by 57. Oops, sorry, I meant 56 plus 67 divided by 2 is 61.5. Okay, now the rest of these will be a little bit easier. What would be the mode of this data set? And the mode is the number that appears the most often. That's 56. That appears 3 times. That's more than any other number. And what's our range? The range is the highest minus the lowest. And you can use the median calculations for that. Well, that's 90 minus 34, which is 56. Okay, so those are your measures of central tendency. Okay, let's do one more. Here we have 2 data sets. So let's say these represent the number of runs scored by 2 different teams over a season. The Mets and the Yankees. Are you a Mets fan or a Yankees fan, or neither? I don't know what I am. I go back and forth. This year the Mets are looking pretty good. Anyways, which statement is true about the mean and the median? And you're given some choices. Is the mean of the Yankees less than the mean of the Mets? The median of the Yankees greater than the median of the Mets? So let's do some calculations to figure this out. Okay. So first thing we can do is maybe put the numbers in order. So 3, 4, 5, 8, 12. And then this will be 4, 5, 6, 9, and 11. So I'm going to make a little chart here. Mean, median, and then why don't we do Mets, Yankees. Okay. First of all, let's figure out our median. Might be a little bit easier. What is the middle number for the Mets? So the median for the Mets is 5. What is the median of the Yankees? So that one would be 6. Maybe I should color code these. 5, 6. Okay, the mean. What's the mean for the Mets? Don't forget you're just adding them up and dividing by 5. So when you add 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 12. Let me do that again. 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 12. Get 32 divided by 5. That's 6.4. And the mean for the Yankees would be You add up all the numbers. You get 35. Divided by 5, that would be 7. Okay. Now let's look at our choices. Which one of these choices fits this chart here? Well, I can zoom in on that for you. So here's how I would figure this out. First of all, I know the median of the Mets is less than the median of the Yankees. So, or you could kind of flip that. The median of the Yankees is greater than the median of the Mets. So, you can get rid of choices 3 and 4. And I know that the mean, which is the top one, of the Yankees is greater than the mean of the Mets. So, that one. So I'm looking at choice 2. That was tricky because I was comparing data sets. Alright, so this was fun. Just let me know what you thought of the lesson, and I'll see you next time.